My name is Shayna Goodell, and I'm going to be discussing the ethics of human services. I actually have a printed off copy. You can find it at nationalhumanservices.org. First, I guess I'll give a summary. It's the duty of a human service professional to respect and promote and do no harm to their client. This is achieved by providing services with no discrimination and being aware of your own personal values and to not interject those on your client. It is important and essential to keep confidentiality unless that person is going to harm someone or themselves. It is also important to discuss with your client before providing services your abilities and your strengths. There might be something that you cannot provide a service for or you're not trained in. It is also unethical to have a dual relationship with your client or have any sexual orientation with them whatsoever. And human service professionals should stay informed of different cultures, different social issues, and different social issues in the environment that you are providing services in. And it is also important to stay educated and continue your training to grow professionally and personally. And it is also inappropriate to take any form of gift or payment besides money. That's so bartering, that's inappropriate. And as a professional, it is also unethical, or it is also your responsibility to discuss unethical situations or a situation that might cause your client harm or yourself. You want to protect yourself. So if a situation occurs where your client is becoming sexually attracted to you and making advances, that might be something that needs to be discussed. And also, just do no harm to your client, and be respectful and make sure you're not putting yourself in a weird situation. Now, comparing the ethics of the NOHS to APA, there are some differences. What stood out to me the most was in emergency situations, psychologists are allowed to provide services to someone who there aren't appropriate services, even if they aren't trained in that area and it's not one of their abilities. They can still do that until other services can be provided for the individual. Bartering is also allowed, like accepting payment, like other services for your service from your clients, which that is that's unethical for human service providers. Also, compared to the NASW, derogatory language is mentioned in their ethics. It's not in the human service profession. I think it's implied, but it's not discussed. Also, sexual harassment is discussed in the NASW ethics, but not in human service, not in the human service ethic code. And like I said, the dual relationships is, but they do not discuss sexual harassment in the NOHS ethics. And also payment is discussed in the ethics of the NASW. It's not in the NOHS ethics. I'm not sure why. I don't think that human service professionals create their own payment plan. But some strengths of the NOHS Code of Ethics is that it sets standards for appropriate behavior. It encourages human service professionals to better themselves and to grow personally. And most importantly, I think it protects clients from potential harm or mistreatment. Some limitations that I found interesting is that it kind of contradicts itself. Like standard 23 and 25, you're supposed to adhere to commitments made by your employer. However, your responsibility to your employer, if you come to a situation where your client is not being getting the right services because your employer doesn't allow some type of service. What do you do in that situation? Then standard 34, which is that you're supposed to recognize your own cultures that might have an effect or work on your client, on your relationship with your client. But standard 7 says ensure that your values are not imposed. So if you come to a situation where your client is, let's say, homosexual and your religious beliefs are not you don't believe in that, what do you do in that situation? I think the most important limitation is that it's just not specific enough to give human service professionals answers to specific situations. It gives a professional, I guess, the freedom to make decisions that could possibly be unethical. So anyways, that's my public service announcement for the NOHS Code of Ethics. Thanks for watching.